Well, a very good morning, everybody, for Thursday, the 2nd of March. Yes, I'm back. I've been absent about 58 days, travelling Asia and Australia, but a bit colder than I was expecting. I am back and ready to run the airfield. So what we got, high pressure, which is established over us at the moment, seems to be a bit of a blocking high and has sort of opened the door to a lot of Arctic air. Now, it might feel cold now, but it does look like it's going to get a bit colder into next week. Temperatures probably sitting around freezing. Question is whether it is similar to that famous beast from the east, sort of 5 years ago now. But in any case, today at least, we've got a reasonable picture with some bright skies, a moderate sort of northeasterly wind, but feeling cold. Winds at heights looking generally around 050 to 060, and we get the advantage from this direction that the wind will veer towards the main runway. And yeah, looking at that sort of 15 knots at flying heights. Satellite picture over the UK. Well, it's a bright start in our area. A bit more clouds over the Midlands and sort of low-level fog, as you'd expect in this sort of weather setup out to our northeast. But in our area, that doesn't really appear to be causing much trouble. There might be the odd bit of low cloud initially, but that should burn back to give a reasonable day. Top temperature today, public forecast is 7 degrees and clear skies, it suggests. Feels like about 5 and a relatively good visibility throughout. With that wind, surface winds looking around 10 knots from the northeast. Roughly similar to what GFS suggests here. It says sort of 9 or 10 degrees, but I think that might be a little bit optimistic. And it's quite a dry air mass this, so dew points sitting around freezing. It now being spring means we show ascents. So the Larkhill sounding, I don't know if there was an equipment error at about 900 meters there, but certainly it is fairly dry. I don't think it's as dry as -40 of a dew point, although happy to be corrected. But yeah, we got inversion fairly low at around, what's that? Yeah, a fairly low level inversion, and from about sort of 8 degrees or so, I think if we're lucky to get up to that sort of lunchtime onwards, then we should see some convection, and we'll have a look at the soaring forecast in a minute, and that line should warm out. Currently at Lasham though, we have a temperature of 2.2 and a temperature dew point of -0.9. Picture outside is nice, bright and sunny, got fairly dry grass, soft in patches, but yeah, no waterlogging or mud causing us too much problem. ODM currently saying few at 2000, and for most of the day, that's what they are saying. We're going to just get sort of bits and bobs of cloud, but nothing significant to cause us any particular issue. Generally similar to Farnborough, who are reporting currently few at 22, 6 knots from the north, and few at 2.5 for most of the day. So probably looking around a lunchtime start for convection, and with this and the sounding looking like we'll get convection initially maybe around lunchtime up to sort of 2,500 feet. After lunch, maybe 2 o'clock as the temperature peaks, we might see blue to shallow Q up to sort of 3,000 to 3,500 feet. I'm going to sit in the camp that says 3,500 feet is the top of convection today, but there are other sources suggesting it might go a little bit higher than that, but yeah, I'm not so confident the temperature will quite reach sort of 9 or 10. We'll have to see. Generally a reasonable area for a short task, maybe just to our north. If you go much north of Oxford, A, it's March, so it's still very early, and B, it does look like there is a bit lower cloud up there. Relatively good for those of you listening from Wales, as I know this briefing does reach out into those areas and down to the southwest as well. Potential flight distance for the day, generally sitting, it's always a little bit pessimistic, I'd say. I think we were using top meteo. Actually, let's up it to 18 meters. That always makes it more optimistic. Yeah, so you can see, good for something short. I'm sure somebody will show us what can be done, seeing as I understand last weekend was very nice. Let's just look finally at site forecast before we go to the NOTAMs. And for Lasham today, Climbs up to around 1.5 knots, and yeah, 3,500 feet being the top of convection for usable height today. And yeah, freezing level is sat around 5,000 feet. So yeah, still in your woolies, and you're going to need to for quite a while. Outlook is relatively good, though this sort of high pressure can throw up a lot of cloud all of a sudden. So yeah, worth keeping an eye on the forecast. Airspace wise, well, full of permanent NOTAMs, which really annoys me because those shouldn't be there. They should be incorporated into the AIP. But nothing of interest really. Usual Solent and Boscombe NOTAMs. Of note, though, there's article dropping at Abingdon, RF Abingdon, between 12 and 4 today. So I'd strongly suggest you avoid the direct overhead. I don't know what will be flying around. It could be a Dornier, or it could be a Hercules or A400M for all I know. So yeah, probably best not to sit in the overhead there. And looking down to our west, nothing particularly, and up to our north, we won't go any more north than Bicester, 34, 32. West on the green is active. Well, it normally is during the week anyway, but it's active a bit longer. So assume Western active, and somebody's firing some rockets. That's Westcott, but we've yet to see a rocket hit a glider. Okay, operationally today we're runway 09, and let's have a look. We'll be. Let's see. No, I need to get a better set up my PowerPoint a little bit better for next time. But yeah, we'll be operating with cables on the north side and aero towing on the south side of the runway. Grass is landable, so standard setup there. Just be aware, curl over from trees, always a factor on northeasterly run. And it is cold, so wrap up well. No jet movements as far as I'm aware of, and no Navajo movements either. So it should be an easy day. Good, look forward to seeing you all shortly. Bye for now.